The expansion draft protection list have been released. Let the pick speculation begin. Hi guys, welcome back to the Bolt Report. My name is Michael Wax, and in part 2 of this series, we're going to be going through the Lightning's protection list, their exposed list for the expansion draft, and what they might do for the Seattle Kraken in terms of a deal or who they might ask them to take and all that stuff. Part 1 will be linked up in the top right-hand corner. I talk about what I think my protection list would have been, and safe to say I was wrong. But the one thing that I was correct about was that the Lightning did go with 4-4-1. That meaning 4 forwards, 4 defensemen, and a goaltender. As you see on the screen in front of you, the Lightning protected Steven Stamkos, Nikita Kucherov, Braden Point, and Anthony Cirelli as their 4th member on the protection list for the forwards. Their 4 defenders were, of course, Victor Hedman, Ryan McDonough, Mikhail Sergachev, and Eric Chernak, and Andrei Vasilevsky, the man in net, being protected. Now, this is not a surprise. We assumed that they would go 4-4-1 or 8 skaters and 1 goaltender. It is a bit of a surprise that they would protect Anthony Cirelli over Yanni Gourde, over Andre Palat, over even someone like Ross Colton, who I didn't mention in my first video. The big thing with Anthony Cirelli is, yes, he's only 23 years old. He's a fantastic defensive center. He's on a very, very nice contract, but also he is someone that has struggled a lot recently. This season was not the best for him. The 2020 playoffs, he was not spectacular. The 2021 playoffs, he was not spectacular. It probably wouldn't have been a case where Seattle would have selected him. There are more enticing options on the board, like a Ross Colton, an Andre Palat, a Yanni Gourde, but it is surprising. Now, the Lightning's exemption list is even larger than their protection list because they were only allowed to protect 8 skaters. On the screen in front of you now, you'll see exactly what I mean when I say the exemption list is extremely large. We're going to start off with the forwards: Andre Palat, Alex Killorn, Tyler Johnson, Yanni Gourde, UFA Blake Coleman, RFA Ross Colton, Matthew Joseph, and Pat Maroon, as well as Jamel Smith, Alex Barry-Boulet, Mitchell Stevens, Daniel Walcott, Boo Nieves, Taylor Radish, Boris Kachuk, Otto Sompi, and Ryan Lowen. On the defenseman side, you've got Jan Ruda, David Savard, Cal Foote, Frederick Claesson, who was just re-signed yesterday, Ben Thomas, Andreas Borgman, and Sean Day. For your goaltenders being exposed, Spencer Martin is the primary exposed goaltender, whereas the current UFAs of Christopher Gibson and Curtis McElhinney are also exposed. So the Lightning have a lot of big name talent that has been exposed in this expansion draft, whether it is Andre Palat or Yanni Gourde or Tyler Johnson or Alex Killorn, someone that might not have made a big impact so far in the NHL, but they will eventually, like Alex Barry-Boulet. Ross Colton has made a big impact. He can make an even bigger one with Seattle. You're looking at prospects like Taylor Radish, Boris Kachuk, Otto Sompi. Those guys can be huge for a team looking to get their feet underneath them. But again, I think the answer is a lot more simple than we've talked about. Tyler Johnson is a Washington native. He's from the Seattle area, and he would be someone that the Kraken would probably want to market around. And we've been talking about Tyler Johnson's contract all the time. When he plays like Tyler Johnson can play, like he did during the 2021 playoffs, specifically during the finals, he is one of the best players on this team, and he's worth his contract. Now, what will the Lightning have to do in order to entice Seattle to take him? Because there are better options on the board. Well, that comes with draft picks. The Lightning don't have a first round draft pick this year, and they don't have a second next year. But according to a ton of insiders, including Elliot Freeman, not only has the price on Tyler Johnson gone down, we thought we would have to attach a first and 2 seconds to get someone to take him, which was a massive price in the regular season. But now Seattle is asking for a first and a third in order to entice them to take a certain player rather than just taking the best available player, like a Yanni Gord, like an Andre Palat, like someone like Cal Foote, who's very important to the future of this team. JBB has no problem giving up picks. We've seen that countless times over the past couple of years, trying to win the Lightning a cup with Barclay Goodrow and Blake Coleman and David Savard. Honestly, I don't really care that they have to give up another first round pick. If worst comes to worst, they have to give up that first and that third. That third is going to hurt you because you've drafted so many good players in the third round, like Braden Point, like Anthony Cirelli, like someone like Hugo Onifa, who's been great and is going to come over to the Syracuse Crunch this season. Ultimately, the Lightning have a situation in front of them that is actually pretty easy. Tyler Johnson seems like the way to go. If Ryan McDonough had been exposed in exchange for Cal Foote, this situation would be a lot more difficult. But Seattle probably wants someone that they can market heavily. Tyler Johnson, being a native there, can be a fantastic spokesperson. And I would not be surprised if the Lightning had to add picks in order to not necessarily ask them to take Johnson, but to dissuade them from other players on the team. But that is going to do it for us on part 2 of the Seattle expansion draft explained. Hopefully, I explained it well. You can let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and follow us on Twitter at BoltReport_TB for all your news, notes, and game recaps. Also, make sure to go to our website, check out some of our articles. Jake Ricker has done an incredible job so far with his pieces, and I'll have a piece coming out soon detailing the UFAs I think the Lightning should go after. But guys, that is going to do it for us on this edition of the Bolt Report. I've been Michael Wax. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, the Tampa Bay Lightning are back-to-back defending Stanley Cup champions.